daughters, sisters, and wives. They're gonna change our lives. Be women, be girls. They'll make a better world. Invest in her. Invest in her. Invest in her. And now here's your host, Catherine Gray.
Welcome to this week's episode of Invest in Her. I'm your host, Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors and co-founder of the She Angels Foundation. As you know, we are all about funding and empowering women. Speaking of empowering women, I have on the most extraordinary woman thought leader who is really helping to empower women in a big way. She has out her new book. It is called The Quintessentials for Women: 9 Tools to Accomplish Anything. Please welcome to the show, my friend, Andrea Quinn. Hi, Andrea.
Hi, Catherine. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Oh my gosh, I am honored. And you know, I've taken your courses several times, and I am one of your biggest fans, as you know. I found it to be completely life-changing, and I am so excited that now not only can people take your course live and online, but now you put it into a book. I'm super excited about this.
Thank you. Thank you. I am too. And I'm so excited to be here today on the day it releases. It's so fortuitous. And I'm just so happy to be here.
And, you know, having just been through this with my wife, I know how important it is that people purchase a copy on the day that it launches. So for all women that like to get behind women, go to Amazon today and you'll be so happy you did to pick up a copy of The Quintessentials for Women. And I love the play on words, Andrea Quinn. The Quintessentials for Women: 9 Tools to Accomplish Anything. And I can really attest that that is true. You do teach tools that allow people both personally and professionally to be able to accomplish anything. And, you know, people always ask me, well, how does that work? And I say, you have to pick up the book or go to the course because it's too hard to explain. But yet you do put it in such simple, easy to learn terms. And I can't say enough about it. I want to talk about you, though, about how you started this course and this book and all the cool things that you do, because you coach people at the networks, the studios, the agencies, the Pentagon, Wall Street, Silicon Valley. I mean, you really do help high-profile people really elevate their personal and professional life. So this book is such a great opportunity for the everyday female entrepreneur to have access to that information. That's what I think is so cool about you launching the book. This gives access to everyone to this information that is so dynamic and so empowering. And let's talk about the book. What would you like to share about it that you can share in a concise conversation so that we can kind of give people an idea what the book is about?
Okay, great. Well, it's about 9 transformational tools, right? So the thing about women is we're really great when we're given the tools to do something. It's when we're left to our own devices and we don't know. You know, a lot of people don't move forward in certain ways because they don't know how. So when it's kind of this, and it has to be really accessible and simplistic. You know, we as human beings, especially women, we complicate everything because there's so much for us to do. You know, we don't get to, focus on one thing. No woman has that luxury. And the bigger her life, the less focus she can have because there's more expansiveness, right? So what I like to do are teach practical tools that are actually something that you can consider. So the thing with these 9 tools is that the first 4 tools is everything in your life that I know you have to do with inside your life, right? Because life, they say life is an inside job. So you have to go within, you have to listen to your own voice. You have to be able to break those patterns of not investing. I love, like invest in her. Investing time with yourself inside. Then the second 4 is everything I believe you need to do out in the world for yourself. And the last one ties it together. So it's a curriculum, inside out, outside in. It's a balanced female, and when we're balanced, we're unstoppable. It's that life doesn't allow us to be balanced. Things keep coming at us. So this is like a template. And I've had thousands of women across the world who have used this. I started teaching these in 2008, and they always say, this just actually realigns me. It gives me a course correction, because just because you have a big career doesn't mean you have a balanced home life. And just because you have a balanced home life doesn't mean that you have the big career you want, right? So this is a way to take a look at your life and balance yourself as a woman.
And I think most people would say they're either good at one or the other, either right. at the family life or at the professional life, but very few people accomplish a balance in both areas. And I do think, people ask me about your course all the time, and I just say, it's so profound. You lead with such authenticity and integrity. And I also think that you have the gift, the reason that so many people from, like I said, from the Pentagon to Wall Street are seeking out your tools and your advice is because you are such an amazing problem solver. And that is a gift of yours. And then I think that the reason that you are is that you implement those 9 tools that you teach so vehemently into your life. Am I right?
Absolutely. I live these tools. And, I created this program because I needed it.
I was going to ask you that. What made you launch this program in the first place?
Well, listen, there's a common denominator usually when your life isn't going great, and it's usually you. Right. So I was the common denominator in, I had names like the drama queen, and I was the Quinn of sabotage, and these were all the little nicknames given to me because I didn't know how to nobody teaches us how to navigate life. Right. So we try to look for mentors and people, but when you're going through your own thing and then trauma steps in, childhood trauma, life trauma, and you don't quite know how to get back, on track. And so what I did was I started studying. I have been a student of self-development most of my life, and I needed it. I needed that path because we all go through all of it. I've been married 3 times. So I was like, relationships weren't easy for me. Wait,
let me just interject. Now you're married to the most wonderful guy.
Yes, I am.
So you got that right. Finally.
I am. But, I have to tell you, I've lost opportunities. I've sabotaged opportunities just like everyone else has. Yeah. Questioned my decisions, different things like that. So I started this self-study, and I started noticing how my life was shifting through this work. And so what I ended up doing was I had this feeling that it was time for me to share the formula, because people were saying to me, because I had started coaching, people had said to me, how did you get your life from where it was to where it's going? And I said, through this program. So I decided to launch it one day in 2008. I invited some women into my living room and said, hey, let's do this. And it ended up really becoming so profound for those original women, my first group of women that I actually do mention them in the book, that trusted me. And the rest has been history, because this curriculum works for women, all walks of life, all ages. It doesn't matter. This is a curriculum. It is a how-to.
I want to say this from an authentic place that, there's a few thought leaders that I follow Marianne Williamson and Brandon Burchard, but I always include you, Andrea Quinn, when I say the thought leaders that I follow. And when I first was invited to your workshop, I was like, oh, another workshop. Okay, I'm going to go because I met you and I really liked you. And I'm like, okay, I'll come to your workshop. And I was so blown away with it because I do a lot of, like you did, a lot of self-work, and I really work on myself and to be an authentic person and really spend my time with people that, are really important to me and working on things that really give purpose to my life. And so I went to your workshop really with an open mind, but, not so sure. And I was just so blown away by these tools that you teach. I thought, wow, we all have more learning to do. And it has impacted mine and my wife's life immensely. And I can't thank you enough. So that's why I'm so honored to have you on the show today, because I'm super excited you're launching the book to give access to everyone about these tools who maybe don't have the time or whatever to come to your online classes or in-person classes, which I highly recommend because there's nothing like that in-person connection. But the book, once again, the Quintessentials for Women, 9 Tools to Accomplish Anything. I really do believe that your tools do help people to accomplish anything. And I don't mean just in work, although that's important, but also personally in your life, in the world, just how you engage with people, family, on a daily basis with strangers. I think it all it impacts your life, these 9 tools.
Thank you so much. And the thing is too, because after 2020, we are evaluating, there used to be a work life and then a personal life. But ever since everyone was quarantined at home, it became merged together. And now it's about understanding, how do I want to move forward? How do I want to move forward? I want to look at my work life. I want to understand about the companies I might want to open, or the nonprofits, or have someone invest in me, right? So I'm worthy to be invested in what it is I want to create for the world. These are the conversations I'm hearing from women right now. They are, and then they don't want to lose eating at home with their families anymore. They don't want to lose some of those things. So when you really invest in self-development and self-empowerment by learning through people's books or courses or whatever it is, then you can begin to shift your life the way you want to lead it. And I think that that's something we're all learning right now as the world is opening into its new dawn,
Yeah. And, just one of the conversations that you talk about in your course is about how women are not great about asking and not great about receiving. And that's so important in the world that I'm swimming in, where women are looking for investments and funding. And it's something that we really have to overcome. And I just believe your course helps empower women to be able to ask for what they need and to be able to even receive it. It sounds like, hard to believe that women aren't good at those 2 things, but we're not. Mm-hmm. And I can attest to that. So I do think, I've learned a lot in that capacity that I wanted to pass along about your course. Do you have any success stories that you would like to share? I know so many people share them. I don't know how private that is. Is there something that you might like to share with us about some success stories of people that have taken your course?
Well, first of all, there's so many success stories written in the book. Every tool,
I love that.
Every tool has different success stories from the women that have taken the classes that have been, merged together in those particular chapters. So there's so many of them, it's hard to imagine, but I do have a lot of success stories when it comes to women who have finally decided. Recently, I finished a workshop, and there was a woman who really had been in the industry a very long time, knew she was completely underpaid, but with the way that the industry was changing, she was afraid that if she rocked the boat, she might be one of the people who loses their job because the industry has been changing in such a big way. And so she was in the workshop recently, and it was all about the language we use as women, about asking to receive, using that word that she said, I felt so awkward and strange. She's a dynamo and has been, in the entertainment industry for a very long time and has a great reputation, works for a very big network, but she just was always wanting to make sure that for some reason, as a woman, when you get to certain levels, you don't want to rock the boat. You feel like and so it was so interesting the way she said to me, you know what? She came back and said, I asked to receive. I actually used that word to,
right.
I would like to receive the raise that I have allowed to be put off for the last couple of years due to the industry's change. But I see my value, and I know you do. It was so beautiful.
I love that.
She got it.
Right. And I don't think a lot of women wouldn't have the chutzpah to say that, but once they've taken your class and they're feeling empowered, it helps them to be bolder. That's the only way I can explain it.
Because you're telling the truth. See,
yes.
The lie that you're telling is that you're less than, and you're afraid, and that you're just happy to be there and safe with the job. Like that's not who you really are as an empowered female. As an empowered female, I know my worth, and I'm sure you do too. Like that's an amazing statement. And you don't have to say it, angry or bitchy. It's just a fact.
Yeah.
It's just a fact. I see my value, and I'm sure you do too. And I have not said anything for the last couple of years because of 2020. So I'm ready for this to shift now. And they were like, you're right. Here you are. And she could not believe. And it was so cute because she was like, I can't believe someone who's not afraid to say anything, because she is not afraid to say anything for anybody else. We don't always say it for ourselves in the way. We will fight for someone on our team. We will fight for someone in our life to get what they want, just like in investors. Like you used to tell, isn't it about 3% of all VC money goes to women only?
Less than 3%.
Less than 3%. So the truth is that we're either not asking or we're asking for someone else, like, oh, you have to fund this other project because she's amazing. And then they get investors for people. But what about you?
Yeah. And we have to realize, like you said, not only our worth, but also that we're doing it for a greater cause. That's something you've always brought to my attention, is like, you're really not asking for yourself. You're asking for your bigger cause. And that bigger cause is so important. You should be fearless about asking.
Your end game. What's the end game for you, right? Everybody needs to start at the end and work back. So let's say, like you, the day I met you, you were always about, I want to help women I want to fund women's projects. I want to get behind women's ideas. I want to be the catalyst for these women to be supported, which is why you did your incredible contests and programs, and the She Angels investors, and you did all of this so that women could rise up and take our place, right? That's your end game. So but the problem with a lot of us as women is that they're just surviving in the moment. They don't even think about what do I want to do for the world? And so when you start really coming to that, I do a chapter on that in the book, where you discover your end game.
Yeah.
We talked about, I even talked about Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss's end game was to end illiteracy.
Oh.
It was about wanting, right? If we can just think of that and then start moving ourselves towards what it is we want to create.
I agree with you. So many people just think, well, how do I accomplish that? It's so big, or, but whatever, like you're saying, your end game is, your purpose, your calling, whatever you want to call it. Think big. You're here for a big reason, right? That's what I learned from your course too. You can't think too big, nothing is too big, and go for it. And your tools help them to accomplish whatever it is. And I just really appreciate you dedicating your life to sharing these tools with people and changing lives every day by sharing it. So also, thank you for putting it into a book so everyone has access to it. Andrea, if people want to follow you, how do they find you on social?
It's under Andrea Quinn Coaching is it's Instagram and Facebook, and my Twitter is AQ Coaching. And then the book, of course, on Amazon is The Quintessentials, or you could Google Andrea Quinn as an author. And I'm proud to say that today.
Yay.
And so, and it's also going to be part of a community. I am, Catherine, because you're part of my community now as well. This community helps women, and we have women all over. I have a woman in Montreal that's emailing the women in Los Angeles, seeing if they know a job or she can relocate. And, people all over the world are helping each other that have taken this class digitally as well as in person. And so what I'm doing with this book, there's a part in it where you can become part of the community.
I love that. Yeah. And that's one thing I've always loved too about being a part of your group is not only did I learn a lot, but you do have the online group that we're all participate in, and it's women helping women, and in a powerful way, like helping them set intentions, helping them open doors, supporting their books or movies or shows. It's really a wonderful group of women helping women. We need to perpetuate that type of thing. And the great thing is, once people have read your book or taken your course, we're all speaking the same language. So
it's
everyone,
language.
Yeah, it's all the people in the community speaking the same language and having the same mindset so that you understand each other. And that really is the beauty, which, by the way, I'm so glad both my wife and I took your course so that we are both speaking the same language and understanding the same thought process. It's invaluable. I'd recommend it to any couple.
Well, thank you. And, it's so interesting when it comes to, again, women and community. Just like with you want to bring women together and help them invest in each other, help women to have their dreams come true, whether it's in for-profit or a non-profit way, right? So same thing here. Not only do we help each other in business and the community, we've gotten each other babysitters and dog walkers. And I mean, I know women in New York who have gotten each other doctors.
Yeah.
It's just a community of women, and there shouldn't have to be, we should have a place where we can go and just say, hey, does anybody know where I can receive this help? And people rise to the occasion. And it really is something that I'm just honored to be a part of. I didn't start this curriculum for it to start a community. The community grew out of women understanding the power of the curriculum and the power of community. And, empowered women want to be around empowered women. Mm-hmm. Because when you're in that room, like my favorite part in Harry Meets Sally, I'll have what she's having, that scene in there. Yeah. That's what I want. I want when a powerful woman walks in, I exhale because I'm so happy there's another female with power that's going to be there. And what happens if you find women that are uncomfortable with powerful women? That's where the inner work comes in, because she's obviously has to work on something within herself so that she realizes how magnificent she is and she can take her place among the powerful women of this world, because we're the only chance this world has. We are the only chance. As you know, when you learned in my course, I initially said it, and I know you've repeated it over and over and over. When the Dalai Lama proclaimed this world will be saved by the Western woman, period. He proclaimed it. And that was a huge shift for me. When I saw that, I could not believe, and he was right. We
absolutely,
are the
and that's why those women need to be funded.
That's right.
Get that in there.
No, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. That you're funded, your profit and nonprofits and all the funding.
Yes,
we are the the secret
Mm-hmm.
to this world healing and shifting. We have
Right.
got to get our businesses going. We have got to get our families healthy. We have got to overcome our traumas. We, as a community of women, have to come back together.
Mm-hmm.
And when we do, the healing
Yeah.
of the world will happen. I believe that.
I do
And
too.
that's my end game.
Yeah. And I love that you have that vision and that intention. And that is why we need courses and books like this to empower women to be the strongest, most effective woman they can be and the happiest. Let's face it. A woman who's healthy minded, emotionally, spiritually, and physically is going to bring her best self to the table personally and professionally. And that's really what this is about. So I also want to mention that you are on our She Angels Foundation board. We are so lucky to have you on our board, Andrea. And our work, as most people know, is that we fund female entrepreneurs who have nonprofits that are helping women. And so we're so proud to do that work. And it is so important, I like to say every week, that women get behind women in nonprofit and that also women invest in other women in for-profit. That's what's going to level that playing field we were talking about earlier. So thank you for the amazing work you do in the world. Even though I've taken the course, I'm definitely picking up the book on Amazon today. It launches today. The Quintessentials for Women, 9 Tools to Accomplish Anything. And I do believe it will help you accomplish anything. Yes, there it is. So exciting.
I'm so excited to show the book and to have, you support it, Catherine. I respect you, and I'm in awe of everything that you are creating for us as a community of women. And I know that your end game is, in your vision, is going to be achieved. And I hope these tools will help women to get to where you want them to go as well. So I really appreciate it. And I love being on the board of the foundation myself. And it's just such an honor to keep helping women. And we have to invest in each other mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually.
Absolutely. And I will say that these 9 essential tools that you talk about have definitely helped me to accomplish all the things that I have and that I hope to in the future. So thank you, Miss Quinn. I'm so happy to have you on the show. And be sure to follow Andrea on social and follow us, Catherine Gray, Invest in Her, as well as She Angel Investors. Make it a great day, everybody. And pick up your book, get empowered. Let's together all save the planet. Thanks, Andrea.
Thank you, Catherine.
Our theme music was created and produced by Lindsay Tomasic.